could change. Not next year, not next week, but right here in this video. Just by understanding 3 forgotten psychological secrets. These aren't self-help trends. These are mind shifts rooted in science, wisdom, and truth. They've helped thousands overcome shame, rebuild their minds, and finally deal with the people who drain them. But listen, don't skip anything. 1 second missed could cost you a breakthrough. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Marcus Aurelius. So I want to ask you, what if your failures weren't the end, but the invitation? What if healing was never about forgetting, but about finally understanding? What if your peace depended on what you hear right now? Watch this video till the very end, because your next chapter begins today.
You don't meet your true self when life is easy. You meet it when your world collapses, when the applause stops, and you're left with silence. Rock bottom isn't your punishment, it's your wake-up call. Success is seductive. It whispers lies in our ears. It says, you're only worthy when you're winning. We chase the spotlight, the praise, the likes, the numbers. We build identities on achievements, on things that can be taken from us in an instant. But here's the truth. What you build on the surface will crumble. What you build within never does. Rock bottom doesn't send an invitation. It arrives without warning. It could be a job lost, a dream shattered, a betrayal you didn't see coming. One moment you're on track, the next you're free falling. And in that free fall, there is no crowd, no coach, no cheerleader, just you and the brutal honesty of your own reflection. This is the moment most people fear, but this is where transformation begins. Pain isn't your enemy, it's your instructor. It strips away ego, it silences excuses, it forces you to confront the version of yourself that you've been avoiding. Because rock bottom does something extraordinary. It removes the mask. There are no more roles to play, no more lies to tell. What's left is real, and real is powerful. This is where the climb begins. Not with giant leaps, but with small, quiet, defiant steps. Waking up early even when there's no applause. Showing up when no one is watching. Choosing discipline when chaos would be easier. Every day, you build. You forge strength out of suffering. Not despite the pain. Because of it, you don't bounce back from rock bottom. You rise forward. Stronger, wiser, untouchable. Because once you've been broken and still choose to rise, nothing can stop you. So if you're at the bottom right now, good. That means you're done pretending. That means your foundation is being rebuilt with truth. That means everything ahead is yours to claim. This isn't your end, it's your beginning. Look around. This pain, this silence, this storm, it came to wake you up. So rise, even if your hands shake, even if your voice cracks, even if no one believes in you yet. You aren't buried, you are planted, and it's time to grow into something the world has never seen. If this message hit home, don't just scroll. Smash that like button, subscribe for more real, raw content like this, and drop a comment below. Tell us, what did rock bottom teach you? Your story could be the spark that helps someone else rise. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.
If chapter 1 made your heart beat a little faster, just wait. In this next part, we'll expose the silent epidemic no one talks about. How your own mind becomes your enemy, and how to turn it into your greatest ally. You're about to discover a mindset shift that's saving lives. And I don't say that lightly. So don't skip a second. I repeat, don't skip. Don't zone out. Don't leave. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Carl Jung, deep down, are you really in control of your thoughts, or are they controlling you? Subscribe now to the Forgotten Chapters so you never miss what's next. Because chapter 2 will not just inform you, it will transform you. Get ready. The next shift will change everything. Before we go any further, pause for a second. If this first chapter spoke to something deep inside you, imagine what's still ahead. Chapter 2 isn't just another lesson, it's the mental reset you didn't know you needed. But here's the hard truth. If you don't stay till the end, you won't get the full picture. These shifts work together. Each one builds the foundation for the next. So hit that subscribe button now for the Forgotten Chapters, because what's coming next is even more crucial. Man conquers the world by conquering himself. Zeno. Let me ask you, when was the last time you felt truly in control? How would it feel to take your mind back from anxiety, fear, and chaos? Stay with me. Chapter 2 starts now. They tried to break you, but they didn't know what you were made of. They saw your silence as surrender. They mistook your stillness for weakness. They thought because you didn't fight back, you were done, finished, defeated. But they didn't know the quiet was your cocoon, the darkness, your training ground, and pain, that was your invitation to rise. You've walked through fire barefoot. You've bled behind closed doors and smiled in public like nothing was wrong. You've buried people you loved and somehow still showed up. They don't know the nights you whispered to God to just make it stop. The days you looked in the mirror and didn't recognize the warrior staring back. The moments you almost let go, but you didn't. You were betrayed by those you fed, mocked by those you helped, laughed at by people who couldn't walk a mile in your shadow. And somehow, you still kept your heart open. They took your kindness as softness, your humility as fear, your patience as submission. But inside you, a storm was building. See, a sword is not born shining. It's forged in fire, struck again and again until it learns how to hold its edge. That's you. You are not broken. You were reforged. They didn't break you. They built a version of you even you didn't know existed yet. You stopped explaining yourself. You stopped apologizing for growing. And you learned something powerful. Your silence is not weakness. It's strategy. It's survival. It's strength in disguise. Then one day, you looked in the mirror again, and something shifted. You didn't see a victim anymore. You saw a weapon. You saw the eyes of someone who had been through hell and came back carrying fire. You remembered who you were. Not the version they tried to shrink. Not the name they mocked, but the giant that had been sleeping. There's a reason you're still standing. There's a reason your heart still beats after everything they did. You weren't born to break. You were born to bend, to stretch, to fall, and rise again. Each time, stronger, sharper, quieter, like the ocean, calm on the surface, but deep, unstoppable. So you stopped asking for approval, stopped waiting for applause. You realized they don't have to believe in you. You do. They don't have to love you. You must. They don't have to understand the path you're on, because it wasn't written for them. It was carved through your scars. They told you, stay in your place, but your place is in purpose. They said, you've changed, and you smiled, because yes, you have. You changed in the dark. You transformed in silence. You became the thing they feared most. A soul that knows its power. A warrior that doesn't need war to be strong. A survivor that turns survival into strategy. So listen to me, not with your ears, with your spirit. You didn't survive for nothing. There is something in you the world needs. But you have to stop shrinking, stop explaining, stop hiding. You were built for something greater, not just to exist, but to ignite, to remind others what's possible when everything tries to bury you, but you rise anyway. From the ashes, from the pain, from the heartbreak, from the failure, because your story is not about what they did to you. It's about what you did after, and what you do next will echo for generations. They tried to break you, but what they broke was the illusion. What they shattered was the old version of you. What they woke up is something fierce, something holy, something unstoppable. And now, you walk like you remember. You speak like you've been to war. You carry scars, not as shame, but as proof that the fire feared you. So next time they ask, what changed? Smile and say, everything. Fade to black, beat of silence, because they tried to break you, and all they did was wake you up. If this video spoke to your soul, it's time to take action. Like if you're ready to unlock the power within you. Subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss a moment of motivation, because you deserve to rise to your fullest potential. Drop a comment below and share your own journey. What's the one thing you've learned in your struggle that made you stronger? Let's build this community of warriors who lift each other up, because when we rise together, we become unstoppable. You're not just surviving, you're thriving. Let's keep pushing. That last chapter might have cracked something open inside you. But the truth is, healing your mind is only half the battle. What's coming next? It's about the people you let in, the ones you trust, and the 4 dangerous mistakes that destroy your peace without you even realizing it. This is the chapter that could save your relationships, protect your mental health, and rebuild the boundaries life keeps tearing down. Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. Epictetus, who has too much access to your emotions. What are you tolerating just to feel accepted? Don't leave now. Don't skip. Because if the mind is the battlefield, then your relationships are the war. Stay till the end, and hit subscribe to the Forgotten Chapters, so you never miss the wisdom that could rewrite your life. Look, we're 2 chapters in, and by now you're probably starting to see it. This isn't just a video. It's a map out of mental chaos. But if you walk away now, you'll miss the final piece that holds it all together. Chapter 3 exposes the most overlooked traps we fall into with people. Those silent habits that steal our joy, our confidence, and our power. He who is brave is free, Seneca. And maybe what you need isn't another apology from someone else, but permission to finally protect your peace. So here's the call. Subscribe to the Forgotten Chapters, because what comes after this will equip you for the life you deserve. Don't miss the final chapter. Watch till the end. Your future self is waiting.
What if your greatest moment looked like your worst failure? What if the pain you're in now isn't breaking you, but building the version of you the world tried to silence? Have you ever looked up at the sky and asked, why me? Why do the good people suffer? Why do the ones who hurt us walk free? Why does it feel like life hits the kind ones hardest? If you've ever felt that way, you're not weak, you're not crazy, you're waking up, and what you're feeling isn't the end. It's the beginning of something sacred. This is the rock bottom mindset shift, and once you learn to see it, you'll never suffer the same way again. We were taught that if we're good, life will be good to us, that kindness guarantees kindness in return, that doing the right thing will always bring reward. But that's not how the world works, and the Stoics knew it. They didn't teach comfort, they taught clarity. Epictetus once said, it's not what happens to you, but how you respond to it that matters. So let me ask you, are you responding or just reacting? When you hit rock bottom, it's easy to feel like the world is against you, but maybe the world isn't cruel. Maybe it's just raw, unfiltered, brutal, honest, and maybe that's exactly what we need to wake up. There's a kind of anger that isn't loud. It doesn't scream. It doesn't throw things. It sits in your chest like a stone. A deep, quiet frustration that whispers, this isn't fair. You did everything right. You stayed loyal. You kept quiet when you could have fought back. You forgave. You gave your best. And still, you got the worst. Have you ever been there? That's not weakness. That's the furnace of character being lit. Seneca once wrote, difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body. Pain is a strange teacher. It doesn't give lectures. It gives tests, and sometimes the test isn't about passing, it's about proving that you're unbreakable. If any of this is hitting home, I want you to do something for me right now. Drop a comment and tell me, what's one thing you survived that nobody clapped for? And if you're finding meaning in this message, don't forget to subscribe to the Forgotten Chapters, where the truth you're feeling finally has a voice. Now, back to the fire that makes us. Rock bottom isn't always dramatic. Sometimes it's silent. No big moment, no breakdown, just emptiness. Waking up and feeling nothing. Staring at your phone, waiting for a message that won't come. Sitting in a room full of people and still feeling completely alone. Do you know that feeling? That's what Stoics called the battlefield of the inner life. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most powerful men in history, wrote in his journal, not as an emperor, but as a man who knew pain. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Strength doesn't always look like winning. Sometimes it looks like not giving up, even when nothing makes sense. What if suffering isn't a curse? What if it's a gift, but a painful one? A gift that strips away all the fake smiles, all the shallow friendships, all the noise and distraction, until only the real you is left. Think about it. Before the pain, you were chasing approval. Now you're craving truth. Before the storm, you needed noise. Now you crave peace. Suffering didn't destroy you, it refined you. And that is something this world will never teach you, because pain doesn't sell, but it saves. If this is helping you see your struggle in a new light, hit that like button. But more importantly, share this with someone who feels like giving up. We don't rise alone, we rise together. And here on the Forgotten Chapters, every broken heart has a seat at the table. Let's keep going. We look at ourselves during hard times and say, I'm a mess, I'm broken, I failed. But what if that breakdown was the first real breakthrough? You weren't broken, you were being rebuilt, piece by piece. Not into who you were, but into a version of you that doesn't beg to be loved, that doesn't chase people who never cared, that knows their value, even when no one else sees it. The Stoics didn't believe in fate without action. They believed in becoming through every loss, every scar, every sleepless night. You're not who the world says you are. You're who the fire is making you. Here's the twist no one tells you. Rock bottom is a place, but it's also a platform. It's the only place where all the false identities fall away. The ego, the performant himself. You want freedom? Don't wait for life to be fair. Take control of your inner world, because once you do that, no one can ever take take it from you again. Pause for a second. What's one thing rock bottom taught you? Comment below. Someone might need to read it right now. Your story matters more than you know. And if you haven't yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button to the Forgotten Chapters Healing. Because here, every pain has a purpose. Every chapter has a reason. This one might hurt. The world isn't going to say sorry. They're not going to apologize for the betrayal, for the heartbreak, for the opportunity that passed you by. But guess what? You don't need their apology to heal. Let that sink in. You've been holding your breath, waiting for someone else's guilt to free you. But freedom isn't something you're given. It's something you claim. Right now, right here. This is your permission to move on. To stop bleeding over people who never deserved your kindness. To stop explaining your worth to those committed to misunderstanding you. You are allowed to live. Fully, freely, fearlessly. Maybe life didn't go how you thought it would. Maybe you lost people you thought would always be there. Maybe your dream shattered, but you're still here. Breathing, healing, becoming. And that means the story's not over. You are not the failure. You are the fighter. You are not the ending. You are the author. So pick up the pen, turn the page, and write a new chapter. If this message spoke to something deep inside you, don't keep it to yourself. Like, comment, and share this video with someone who needs it. And most importantly, subscribe to the Forgotten Chapters where pain becomes purpose, and every soul finds its strength. Because your suffering doesn't disqualify you. It qualifies you to lead others through the dark, not by pretending to have it all together, but by showing them that healing is real. You hit rock bottom, but now you rise. Not in spite of it, but because of it. Welcome to your next chapter.
You've just walked through 3 of the most important chapters of your life. And I don't say that lightly. You've learned how to face failure, heal your mind, and guard your peace. But this is just the beginning. Because life won't stop testing you. And truthfully, neither should your growth. First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Epictetus. So what now? Will you let these lessons die in your memory, or live in your decisions? Will you drift back into old patterns, or step forward into your next chapter? If you felt something shift inside you today, if something finally made sense, then hit subscribe to the Forgotten Chapters right now. Because the next video might not just change your thinking, it might save your future. This is only the beginning.